So I have some Shazeb and Ahmed. How are you both?
Fine, we are fine.
Abdul Rafi, how are you? Okay. So
Good, sir.
that's great. So as you have learned about the Scratch, some of the things about Scratch, today we are going to explore more of Scratch and we are going to see that how can we create a catching game. So if I have to show you how does a catching game look like, I will show you a very short video for that also. And I will explain you to how to make that game as well. So a catching game is generally something like that. Uh, yeah, let's catch it. So if you will see this video, the first
Hi
1 minute
everyone,
of that,
it's Zoe from the
a
Scratch team,
catching game,
also known as Zim.
a catching game is something like that. That you have a character at the bottom who is going that is going to move, and there are going to be some objects that are falling from the sky, and your object is going to catch them. So how we are going to make that game? There is a simple list of steps that we have to follow, and once we follow these steps, you will be able to create that. So these are the steps that we have to follow. We need to do something to move the catcher. We need to make our character go to the top. We can ask our character to fall down, and we are going to catch it, and we are going to keep score for that. I will show you how to create this game. All you have to do is just go to the scratch.mit.edu. I have actually downloaded the offline version of the Scratch editor. So what you can do is you can simply download this Scratch editor if you want. All you have to do is just go to the scratch.mit.edu. Okay. So once you are on this Scratch website, you can see at the bottom, just at the end of this website page, in the resources option, there is this download button. If you will click on this one, you are going to have this page which says install the Scratch app for Windows. And you have to select the direct download option from here. Once you select this direct download option, a window might pop up or maybe the download might start. So I have already actually downloaded it, so I'm not going to download it again. And after that, you will see this kind of an icon on your desktop that you can start using Scratch with. And this is kind of a very simple, you can say, editor for you. You do not have to go to the internet. Even if you don't have access to the website or the access to the internet, you can still try to create games in Scratch. So as we have discussed earlier, what are the steps that we need? So let's talk about the first step. So first step is select a backdrop of our choice. After that, we need to select characters of our choice. So these are the two things that we need to do first. First, let's select a backdrop of our choice and then select a character of our choice. And when we say characters, in characters, we have to learn about two things: catcher, collectible. So you need to identify a collectible item that you want to catch, and you want to identify a character that will catch something. So let's say that I have chosen this backdrop. I can choose a different backdrop as if I want as well. Let's say that I can choose this colorful city. In this colorful city background, now I want to add a character. Currently, I have uh, three backgrounds. I will delete some of it because I am only going to use this one. So in this colorful city, now I need to have a character that will catch the objects falling from the sky. So for that, I am going to select a character here. And maybe what character should I choose? I need to choose something that is a little flatter. The cheesy puffs are there, donuts are there, drum kit, easel, a lot of characters, fruit salad, glass water. Yeah, that would be funky if we use this glass water. Okay, let's use this glass water. So this is the glass water. As per the colors of the glass water, I think the background is a little very much colorful. So let's try to change that and change it to what? Let's say forest. So we are going to have a game in which the raindrops are going to fall from the sky and we are going to try to catch them. We can start with the empty glass, make it a little shorter. Let's say delete it, duplicate that one, and I would want to add some water. To give it the water effect, I'm going to change its color to that. So you can change these sprites as per your own choice if you want. All you have to do is just choose them very wisely. Yes, it fits in here and so these are kind of the two characters that we have done. Now one we have is empty glass and we have a filled glass. So we can change the costume to the filled glass after we have collected like 10 drops of water. So, so this is the character that we would want to be moving on our screen. Maybe it looks a little bigger. I would want to make it a little shorter as well. For that, I'm going to change its size. It has got a little more smaller, so I'm going to make it. So this is the correct amount of size of the glass that I wanted. Now I need to make sure is that this character can be moved from left to right and from left, right to left. So for that, we are going to go to this motion option and pick up this change x by 10 and change x by 10 once again. Now changing the x by 10 would mean that this character moves on the right side, and changing the x by a minus 10 would mean moving the character on the left side. So now we can move the character on right side and the left side. All we have to do is just identify the keys that are going to choose, the keys that are going to help us to move the characters. So if we want to move towards the left, I would suggest that we use the left key. And if you want to move to the right, I would suggest that you use the right arrow. So currently, with the right arrow, you move on the right side, and with the left arrow, you move on the left side. Fine.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the water or the things that have to drop from the sky. Let's say that we start here and the value of x and y here is -9. I will move it to 0. So 0 and -102. Let's make it to -110. So 0 and 110. So this is the position of the character. So whenever we are going to press the flag button, our glass is going to come at this position. And for that, we're going to use this motion block and choose this one. So wherever we are, whenever we press the flag button, it's going to come at the start. So that is the first part of it that we have completed. Now let's go to the second part. The second part is we need some characters that would keep falling from the sky and we can collect them here at the bottom with the glass. So let's decide what that character would be. So that character can be a water drop, and for the water drop we do not have a shape or anything, but what we can do is choose another shape and make it appear like a water drop. So we have to select a proper shape. I have chosen an egg. I would make it a little smaller also. Is it very small? It looks very small. So let's make it a little bit 50. Yeah, that's it. Now what we need to do is change its color. Let's say we don't need that one, that not needed, not needed, not needed. So what we need to do is just change its color a little. Hi. So let's say that we change its color a little so that it looks like some water droplet, and also this one. Actually not. So now this looks like a water droplet. Even if it doesn't look like, what we can do is try to make it look like a water droplet, and I can delete that one. So now it might look a little more like a water drop. So now we have made a water droplet also. Now what we would want to do is make sure that this water drops down and our glass can catch it. For that, what we need to do is we need to understand one very important thing. Where do we want to start the water from dropping? We want to start, we want to start the water from dropping from from this position, from this top position. At this position, X has a value of 180. So we need to start at a random position at 180. And the Y is 180. So when we are going to click the flag button, we would want our character to reach that point. Go to a random position first and then set Y to 180. So this way, whenever we will press the flag button, the character will reach, the water droplet will reach wherever it is suited for it. So we can see which of these backdrop basically suits us more. If any doesn't suit very perfectly, we can always change another one. Or maybe this one. Yeah, that's fine. So now you can clearly see where the drop is, and then whenever you will press the flag button, the water droplet will go to a different position. Now what you need to do is you need to make sure that this water droplets start falling downwards. And the downward movement of any object is related to the Y coordinate. I will show you that through the coordinates as well, through the background as well. Here at the end of it, we have this coordinates. So you have this coordinates pattern here as well. Now you see here y is 180, here is y minus 180. So y needs to be decreasing if your character needs to move from this position towards downwards. So if it is moving downwards, it would only move downwards if your character is let's say moving downwards only if your character's y value is continuously decreasing. So for that, what we are going to do is, make sure that this character in its code starts falling and keeps on falling. So it is going to keep on falling if we repeat this process forever. And the process that we need to repeat forever is that it needs to come down. It is going to come down, but it's going to change its y value and it needs to decrease it. Decreasing means we have to put a negative value. Let's say -5. So this character will start coming downwards. Now minus is must, but the number value like 5, 10, or 15, whatever value you are going to put, it's going to change the speed of with which the object is going to move, like that. So if I put it here, now what happens? It's moving very fast. So maybe I can slow it down a little by decreasing this y. Now it's moving with the relevant, relatively better speed. So you can change it to 7, 8, 6, whichever you want to make it work for you. So fine. Now this character has started moving. The next thing that we need to do is see when we have to start again. So this character is going to, whenever it hits or goes down, it's going to start from the top again and start coming again. For that, we need to check something. And to check that, we need to use this control thing and go to this if option. If option basically asks you to check something and then work according to that. Like, how does the if function works? I will explain that to you through this example. Let's say it's y value. We are going to get to know that if this character has hit the bottom by checking its y value. Is if its y value is -180, it means that it has hit the bottom. So we are going to choose this one and check its y position. If this y position is less than 180, actually -180, which is at the bottom. Currently, this is, we can check if it is true or false. You see, it says it's true. It's currently below 180. So if it is currently below 181, what should happen? If it is currently below 180, what it needs to do is do the same thing again. This one. Go to random position and set y to 180. This is what it needs to do. Now you can see that when it hits the bottom, it starts coming again. Maybe speed is a little faster. We can change the speed. So its speed is now better. And now our character would keep on coming down and down and down. Now the next thing that we need to do is, how do we catch it? How do we catch this character? We have to move our glass water in some direction so that it can be got. Fine. So if a glass can catch it, how would it be? I be able to identify that it has got. Now the glass is moving very slowly. I would want to make it move a little faster. So that's why I'm changing its values as well. Now my glass is moving very fast, and now I can identify that if it could be able to catch something or not. Once it catches something, what should happen? There are two things that need to happen. We need to score a point and the character needs to start again. So for that egg, we will use another if part again. And this if part is going to now check something else. And that something else is not this. That something else is, it needs to check if it is touching the glass water. It starts again. Now the code is almost working. The last thing that we need to do now is add score. So there are two types of score that we need to add. First is a score for us. Secondly, a score for the opponent, or how do we lose the game. We keep on scoring more and more and more if we catch more drops of water. So in order to get more drops of water, what we need to do is go to this variables option and add two variables. First variable is going to be drops caught, and then make another variable that is drops lost. So the drops caught score, similarly we can change their position also if we want, wherever we want to put it. I would want to put it somewhere at the bottom like that. So we have added this drops lost and drops caught, maybe drops caught on the left side and drops lost on the right side. So we can change the position anywhere that we want that suits us. I guess that this suits us because that way I would not, if I put them on the top, I would not be able to understand that where the drop is coming. That is why I want to put it downstairs, at the bottom. So now, how do we get a score and how do we lose a score? We are going to score a point if we are able to catch this class. So if we catch this, we want to score a point. If we are catching this. Similarly, if we can't catch it and it hits the bottom, I would want this score to be added to drops lost. And that is how the scoring is going to work. I've got 1 point, 2 point, 3, 4, and now if I lose it, drops lost has got 1 point, it has got 2 points, it has now got 3 points. Now we need to identify how do we stop this game. This game can be stopped two ways. Either we score enough points to win this game, or either we lose enough points to lose this game. Let's say that I want to set one scenario. This game is going to continue for a very long period of time until and unless we do not drop at least 5 drops. Whenever we lose 5 drops, we are going to um, lose this game. So if we have lost 5 drops, I would want this game to be finished at that time. So for that, how I'm going to do this, I'm going to see and check what are the drops lost. What is the value of the drops lost? So for that, again, I'm going to go to this event control option and choose this if block again. This if block is like very useful for us. It is going to help us make a lot of decisions, and a lot of the times we're trying to make decisions. So that is why the if block is very important. So this if block is going to help us to make this decision, either we win or lose the game. So we win the game or we lose the game. We win the game if we have scored 10, if we have got 10 drops, and we lose the game if we have got if we have lost 5 drops. So let's say that for the winning thing, I go to this variables and go to this operator and check. And this is the checking option that I need to check. If it is 10 and I want the 10 to be drop score. If drop score is equal to 10, say hooray. And in the looks option, there is switch costume to switch backdrop to let's change the backdrop a little and add the winner symbol here. Duplicate it and add this text on it, which says winner. Change its color and make it big. So this happens, and similarly, I can add a loser backdrop also. So we just need to check when do we get the winner backdrop and when do we get the loser backdrop. So in the eggs code, switch backdrop to light 2. Just have to check it again. Sorry. Go to this backdrops option and check your backdrops. It's light 2. You can rename it to winner. And this is light 3. You can rename it to loser. So after that, we would want this egg to identify that if it is a winner or a loser. If drop score is equal to 10, it's a winner. If drop score is not equal to 10, it's less than 10, and again add another similar block here, and instead of now choosing we are going to choose the operator again, and this time with the equality sign again. And now we have to check 5 drops lost. Drops lost you are going to get in the variables. If the drops loss is equal to 5, you are going to go to this looks option again and say, oh no, for 1 second, and switch backdrop to loser. And in both these cases, after you have won the game or after you have lost the game, after you have won the game or after you have lost the game, I would want to use this stop all block as well. So now let's start playing that game in the bigger screen. So let's say that we win first or we lose first. We would have to check both the things. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Say hooray, and it says you are winner. There is one glitch in this one, and that glitch is that we have to start always with we always have to start with the fresh background, which does not say loser or winner. So I'm going to add it here and use the slide back. So whenever you're going to press flag, it's going to start with that. Also, another important thing is whenever you're going to start the game, you need to make sure that all your variables are 0. So for that, you're going to go to variable and use this set variable option. First for the drop chords, and you have to set it 0. And again for the drops lost, and you have to set it to 0 as well. Now when you press the flag button, it's going to be working very fine. I hope that you like today's game. Who would be able to make a game like that? Shahzeb, Ahmed, and Abdul Rafi, would you be able to create this game today? Is it complicated or is it challenging? What do you think? It is challenging, but I
It's
don't think it's not very complicated.
complicated, sir.
Sorry?
It's complicated, sir.
it is complicated, but it's actually challenging more than it's complicated. The things are, I know that a little complicated, but what you have to do is follow the instructions. I will say share this video as